name's Denise Hastings. I'm a golf professional, and we're here at El Rompido for the Tarleton Ladies Pro-Am, possibly, more than likely, the best and biggest in Europe.
Okay, I'm Brian Knight. Pretty average golfer, but we've been doing golf travel as a company for a long time, 25 years plus. Denise and I met up through my partner, Ray, who is a woman, R-A-E, and she went to Denise for golf lessons. In fact, she went to Vivian Saunders for golf lessons, and after the first lesson, Vivian Saunders passed her on to Denise. That's maybe because she wasn't any good, or I don't know, I say that. But then, but after one lesson with Denise, she came back to me, she says, "You need to meet Denise. She is great, she's positive, she said, meet her." So I did as I was told, phoned Denise up, and we got together and had a meeting.
Yeah. The rest is history, really. It went from there.
Speaking of it.
So I'd done a couple of golf schools abroad before I met Ray. Ray then says, you hear this stuff all the time as a golf pro. You need to meet my other half. He runs a travel company, and you think, yeah, whatever. That's not going to happen. And I did call out the blue. We met at a golf club. We had lunch. He came suited and booted. I thought, whoa, this is a bit serious. Yeah. And we just chatted. Brian told me about what his company was doing, and then I said what I did and how we can gel. Yeah. And exactly right. We did hit it off straight away. So I think the first year we did one school, it was just like, let's suck it and see. And then the next year it was like 3, then 5, then 8. Yeah. And it really blossomed, and then it was like, you know what? Let's do a pro-am. Yeah. How can we make it different? And let's come up with a different format. And we talked about it at great length, and go, okay, let's do 6 amateurs and 1 pro, and we drop back. And then it was trying to work out which format was best, which, as we've come to now, where the pros play 9 holes with each 3, and it's the best 4 out of the 7. Where to start with, it probably wasn't quite like that, but this is definitely by far the best way, because if you've got someone in your team who isn't playing well, then they're going to chuck in a 2 or a 3 pointer somewhere, so they feel part of the team. Yeah. But if you've got only 3 and one of them's chopping it, then it's like they feel like it's hard work.
It takes the pressure off the players. Yeah, we have some great players who've come along with with a lot of single handicappers, and
And the other thing, most pro-ams historically are, like say, 4, 1 pro, and the pros then play for a prize fund. Well, that was something else we didn't want to do, because we knew Brian had played in no end of pro-ams, being in the motor industry where he was before, and often the pros have got a bad reputation because they're playing for $5,000. Yeah. So they're not interested in Jim, Jack and Bob. And they've paid a lot of money to probably play in it. So it's like, right, okay, we'll give the girls a fee. No problem.
Give them a fixed fee.
Then they're here to look after, entertain, or whatever it takes. And it's been great. It just works.
It's got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've moved it from destination to destination. We started off at Marina Golf in Mahaka, because as Tarleton Travel we used to have our own flight company, so we used to charter 6 aircraft a week to go to Almeria. So we then moved down to Slintia, and lots more flights into Faro, so you can get more people. But ostensibly we have built up a family atmosphere. If you're at the doors here when people arrive, they think they've met their long lost cousin, don't they? They're kissing and hugging people, and and that's good, and that has worked, and that's how we got into it. And it just got bigger and bigger until we're actually probably now can get that much bigger. Yeah, 24 teams. We need a place that's got 2 courses like this, and even at that, we're back to back to get the crossover.
Ladies golf has always been a bit of a backseat to men's golf, I think, simply because there wasn't so many of us as golf pros. So therefore the tour started in '79, the first tournament was in Tyrrell's Wood, and Carlsberg sponsored the event, or they sponsored 10 events. And it was tricky because no one knew what was going to happen. And like all the girls who turned pro at that point or round about that time, it was a massive risk, because in those days if you told the LGU or England Golf or whoever that you were going to turn pro, you immediately got dropped from teams. So a lot of the girls who were playing international golf, it was like, you know, what do I do? All of them, without exception, have not regretted it at all. But no one knew what was going to happen. We didn't know. It was like one day you're an amateur, the next day you're a pro, but you're still playing with the same group of girls. So there was no benchmark. Okay, the girls that went to America, that's different. It was who went, so Jenny Lee Smith, Chris Langford, Mickey Walker, they were in America, got onto the LPG, but they came back and supported us. So they knew there was the gap, if you like. And then from there on in, things improved, but it took a while for the prize money to come up to where it is now, because like I say, we had no benchmark. All of a sudden you got someone like Laura Davis turned pro, who was a larger-than-life individual who could whack it a long way. So people are now coming to see how far Laura smacks it. And that's when it sort of changed, I think. It got better. It was always going to get better. And a lot of people sat back and said, oh, I'm not turning pro, that's too risky. And all of a sudden, in the mid-'80s, it starts to change, more money. Some of the girls from America came over and played our tour. And then of course, you get to a point, I'm talking about me now, it's like, God, I can't do this anymore. Your scores sort of go down. What is it? Is it mental or physical? Probably a bit of both. And a lot of us were in that sort of boat where we want to be golf pros, but we can't match it with the kids now. So you come off tour and you go, right, what do I do now? So you go into teaching. Some of them give up, but then people like myself, Chris Langford, Mickey, Jenny Lee Smith, Kathy Panton, we went into coaching, and then it was nothing to do, not a great deal to play. So it was very much up and down, and you would go from one side to the other. And then you just sort of muddle along doing your coaching. And then it's like, well, golf schools, let's do golf schools. Okay, let's go abroad. That would be nice in the winter, because like, who wants to be in England when it's, February and March, when you can be somewhere out here? I want to say entertained, but that's not the word I really want to use. But you're looking after a bunch of people who are all like-minded, who want to also want to be in the UK.
Yeah.
And then it's okay, so we've done golf schools.
Yeah.
Let's do competitions.
They've benefited because they've met so many more people with like mind, and that was where we were going to in the first place.
Yeah.
We wanted to increase ladies golf. So the ladies turn up here, like you have ladies turn up here from Cornwall, right? And they'll go and play golf with people in Aberdeen. And and later on in the summer they say, oh yeah, we'll come up and play golf with you, Doc. And so the mixture is really, you stir it and it's got bigger. And so I think we have contributed a long way to ladies golf. They met so many interesting people through golf and through the ladies golf as well. Again, another, a lot of the ladies who come to golf are professional people because they have the funds to do it, don't they? Yeah. And they've had jobs like lawyers, doctors, accountants, solicitors. They've had all those sort of jobs. They've travelled the world. They've done this. So when they sit in and chat to them, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, pilots.
Yeah, pilots.
Trainers for You're like Top Gun. It's like, wow, really?
Yeah, seriously, it's so good.
The first year, I think most pros were given a team. So we go, right, there's your 7 girls, look after them. Your job now is okay. They may want to come back next year, but if you can bring, we'll use Tina for instance.
Yeah.
So Tina's a really good friend of mine. She's a Swedish girl, but she lives in Norway. And Tina's been, I've known Tina like forever. And I said, okay, Tina, come along, we'll give you a team. Okay, but what your job is, the next year, is to bring a team from Norway. No problem.
She did it. That's
That's a lot of the way it's grown. So Tina's been to everyone bar one, I think, when she had a back operation.
Yeah. I felt that we needed to have 2 practice rounds before, especially here when you're playing on 2 different courses. So we felt we needed to have 2 practice rounds. So Texas Scramble was always a good one, and that also, we mix all the teams up. So Denise won't play with her team of 6, she'll play with players from, so again, people get to know Denise, and they get to know other people who are not in their team. So that's why the scramble was always a certainty. That was what. Then we thought, yeah, but they're not getting to have a practice round right away. So we thought, we'll play with balls. That'll be, it takes the pressure off them. It's not playing for the championship, so it takes the pressure off people. So again, that's what you want to do. And so then we get into the proper 3 rounds of golf. People feel a little bit more nervous, but I don't know why, really. But I understand it to a point. But doing the format of 4 out of 7 again takes the pressure out of everybody. If you're the 36 or 45 handicap or whatever it is, or having a bad day, as Denise says, you're having a bad day. There's not so much pressure on you, because you're only going to take 4 scores, so 3 of you could have a rest. One of them you could hope that the pro is going to score when she's with you. So that's taking a bit of a pressure. And in actual fact, scoring-wise, you're better to have a couple of blobs and 2 3-pointers than 2 2 2. Well, it's not.
One.
To be fair, arithmetically, it's nearly the same. But because then if people merge together in your team of 6, you have 3 people scoring 3 points and 1 person scoring 2. Then it's 1 point for the team. So. That format works in the team.
If you've got a team that dovetails, like you might have a couple of people that buy a couple of blobs, but all of a sudden they chuck in a couple of 3-pointers.
And
happy days.
Yeah, and they feel so much better because they've contributed 3 points 3 times or something like that.
I think the nicest thing is it is now a big family. It started as a family, but it didn't have that vibe. Now it is unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, we do run 3 big events a year in terms of the mixed team pro-am and the festival, and they work on the same family type principle, but this is the biggest by far. It is. In all humility, I think we have made a huge mark on ladies golf. I think probably, we have made a big imprint on ladies golf because, in the late 90s, ladies didn't go away for golf weekends.
No.
They didn't. It was all, my husband's away to Mallorca for 4 days and all that. I mean, some did. I'm not saying it was unique, but we made a big change to it. And as Denise said, the people come here and enjoy themselves and might go and say, well, my pro was Kathy Panton Lewis. Kathy, would you do a golf week, or Alice Nick? And again, to be fair to us, we've gathered together some pretty important golfing pros. Alice Nicholas, Solheim Cup captain, she brings an MBE, she brings something else to it. Mickey Walker, she brought something else to it.
Five Solheim Cup players this week we've got here.
Yeah. So that is, former
pros.
Pros. One of them captain, Alison. Yeah. So that's added to it all. It's just been an ad by ad, and I hope it keeps going forward, But I do sincerely feel, and
you should be very proud.
I do sincerely feel we have made a big contribution to ladies golf in the UK. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's the people that come, if they have a good experience and enjoy it, they're going to go home and go, I've just been wherever they've been, and they go, oh, who was that with? What was that? Oh, look on the internet, look at all these photographs, oh, they look like having a great time. And so now there's a waiting list of people who I want to play. There was one of the pros, I waited 2 years. It's just a matter, I will guarantee before we leave on Saturday,
next year
99% of them go, book me in, we want to come back.
Yeah.